Early this week, the crème de la crème of administration in Nigeria's transportation sector converged on Abuja at the instance of the Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibuike Amechi. Hosted by Nigeria Shippers Council, the purpose of this high-powered meeting was to observe a demonstration of the Port Service Support Portal, PSSP, the Nigerian Ports Process Manual Nppm, which will drive efficiency and transparency in the maritime sector, was also formally presented to Nigerians. The Executive Secretary of Nigerian Shippers Council, Mr. Hassan Bello, does not tire of speaking about the end of crude oil as the mainstay of Nigeria's economy. A nation like Nigeria, with 853 kilometers of coastline on the Atlantic Ocean, according to him, is well positioned to earn gargantuan revenues from the business of shipping. Under the right conditions, Nigeria should serve all the landlocked countries around her, and that is what the Shippers Council is constantly advocating. Today on The Shipper, we bring you details of that meeting in the nation's capital. After this short break, my name is Rekia Zubairu. Stay with us.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a needle. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey gidigba, eh.
Nigerian Shippers Council with the meeting now for the port of una need.
Nigerian ports users have not always had the smoothest of experience due to operational gaps. The introduction of Nigerian Ports Process Manual (Nppm) promises to address these operational gaps as well as improve transparency and accountability in the system. The manual is a step-by-step compendium of processes at the ports, while outlining the actors and timelines for each process. It also guides the user by highlighting all required documentation, payments, timelines, and responsible agencies. Apart from guiding the user, the manual guides port operators by detailing the implementation chain and providing clarity on the time required for each process. Covenant Billy Oboigbe is here with details.
When you log a complaint, it goes through a system, and everybody who is involved in that complaint receives a notification whenever it moves to the next stage. So at least you see that your complaint is being dealt with.
The Port Service Support Portal, PSSP, is the tool that will ensure the successful implementation of the Nppm. On December 9, 2020, the Nigerian Vice President Professor Yemi Osibanjo, launched the Nppm in Abuja, the nation's capital, where he announced the appointment of Nigerian Shippers Council as the lead agency to implement the manual. The Nppm is expected to help Nigeria improve its ranking on the Corruption Perception Index. The launching of the manual last year, December 2020, at the celebration of the 2020 International Anti-Corruption Day in Abuja, alongside the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, and the head of the Technical Unit on Governance and Anti-Corruption Reform, Ms. Lillian Ekianyanwu, is to boost efficiency and accountability in Nigerian sports industry and also to ensure predictability. In order to smoothen the implementation of the manual, the Nigerian Shippers Council hosted a sensitization meeting for government agencies and stakeholders in the maritime sector. The Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibuike Amechi, who called for the meeting, attended in person along with the top echelon of the Transportation Ministry.
The process manual on port operations is expected to be one of the key indicators for the effective implementation of Executive Order 1 issued in 2017, which essentially is aimed towards promoting transparency and efficiency in the business environment.
In his keynote address at the sensitization meeting, Right Honorable Amechi underscored the importance of the Nppm and the need to sanitize Nigerian port system. He noted that the successful implementation of the Nppm would complement the modernization of critical transport infrastructure being driven by the administration of President Buhari. The minister also noted the enormity of the responsibility placed on the Nigerian Shippers Council to drive the process. He therefore urged government agencies and members of the public to cooperate with the NSC.
The Nigerian Shippers Council also reserves the right to hand out sanctions to any agencies, service providers, and users of shipping services for non-compliance as provided under its economic regulatory mandate. The ministry shall lend its support to the Nigerian Shippers Council in ensuring compliance with the manual by all stakeholders, not only in the implementation of the manual, but in other areas such as enforcement.
Executive Secretary, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Hassan Bello, said that the Nigerian Ports Process Manual, Nppm, is key to transparency in Nigerian ports. Mr. Bello, who said the Nppm was designed to facilitate the ease of doing business and cost reduction, stated that there was a need to reduce dwell time cargo from 21 days to the regional average of 7 days. He therefore sought the cooperation of sister agencies to ensure the manual is fully implemented in order to improve the ranking of Nigeria in the Corruption Perception Index, CPI.
For example, when you said you are going to board a ship, there is time limit for boarding a ship. Some people go with their bets, maybe to sleep there, and there are corrupt tendencies, and so many other processes. This is what we are going to read of so that our port will be friendly. Now, for sometimes they dread coming to Nigerian ports because of extortion. Extortion on the road, extortion, at the high sea and everywhere. But this, we promise, working with all, it will be a thing of the past.
Also speaking at the sensitization meeting, Independent Corrupt Practice Commission, ICPC Chairman, Professor Bolaji Owasonye, stressed the need for agencies at the port to ensure transparency and elimination of operational bottlenecks. Professor Owasonye also urged the ministries, departments and agencies to respond to ethics compliance scorecard deployed by the ICPC to stem corrupt practices. The ICPC boss, who pledged the support of his agency to implement the Nppm, charged the agencies to effectively use their enforcement powers.
I asked my team to go and look at your laws, all the laws of the agencies. We needed to satisfy ourselves that it is not as if the agencies are powerless. They have power to enforce. And when I say enforce, I'm not just talking about fines. Okay, MPA, for example, can arrange to remove somebody physically who's not supposed to be where they are. Shippers Council has enforcement powers and all that. I think it is time to effectively use those enforcement powers.
In her submission, the head of Technical Unit on Governance and Anti-Corruption Reforms, TUGA, Ms. Lillian Ekianyanwu, hailed the collaboration of NSC and other agencies in realizing the Nppm. She expressed confidence in the Nigerian Shippers Council and the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, adding that TUGA would periodically issue scorecard on performance.
The port sector plays a very important role. The ease of doing business, the infrastructure at the ports, and the experience of port stakeholders plays an important role in the corruption perception index as well as other indices Nigeria is ranked on. That was why we commenced the corruption risk assessment at the ports. We have made progress since 2012 when the project started, and the launch of the port process manual is a significant step. But for it to yield the benefits we expect, it has to be quickly implemented.
Also speaking, Managing Director, NPA, Hadiza Bala Usman, stated that the key performance indicators of the various agencies in the maritime sector are closely tied. Hence the need for seamless cooperation and integration of relevant agencies. The NPA MD promised that our agency would ensure compliance with the manual and implement sanctions for non-compliance.
Instances where agencies refuse to do a joint boarding, and we made that very clear that you must do a joint boarding. Why do you want to go alone onto the vessel? That means there's something you want to do by yourself. And if you don't go as a group, then you will not board. And that service you're providing, those documentation, that ship cannot do without it. So for any agency that refuses to do joint boarding, what do we do in terms of sanctioning and penalizing? And as I keep saying, even as the Presidential Council of Ease of Doing Business, is if an agency of government does not comply to an executive order, for example, or to details provided in this process manual, what is done to that agency? There must be consequences for inaction, there must be consequences for lack of compliance to certain aspects.
The MASA DG, Dr. Bashir Ojamo, also weighed in on issues challenging the maritime sector, including insecurity and corruption. He noted that the Nppm contains solutions to these issues. Dr. Jamo stressed that the maritime industry can only be sustained in terms of economic growth if there are sustainable systems in place to make Nigerian ports attractive.
The quality of hinterland connectivity is also a factor to the lingering issue of our Apapa gridlock. I hope the call-off system will quickly address that. We have a very good geographical location to our advantage. Therefore, I believe the issue of productivity and capacity of our port will be improved by the implementation of this.
On his part, Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Dr. Frederick Oladeinde, who represented Governor Sanwo-Olu, said the state government is on top of the Apapa gridlock situation. He disclosed that the government is working with the NPA to make sure truck parks are established along logistic routes. The commissioner promised that the state will continue to work with key stakeholders to ensure Nigeria develops the best port system in Africa.
So I think with what we're doing in collaboration with what the Shippers Council are doing and with what NPA is also putting on the table, I think we can clean up the maritime industry, and we can actually fast track and ensure that trucks that move around Lagos and then into other parts of the country move seamlessly rather than the traffic gridlock that we have in the Pampa.
Chief Executive Officer, Convention on Business Integrity, representing the Maritime Anti-Corruption Network, Olusoji Apampa, said an information desk was put up in 2020. 90 vessels doing business via Nigerian waters were monitored and only 16 had issues, which were resolved within 1 to 4 hours. Mr. Apampa, therefore, encouraged stakeholders to be patient.
To congratulate really all the stakeholders in the maritime sector in Nigeria that it might look like snail speed, but things are indeed changing in that sector. Thank you very much.
Acting Comptroller, Tariff, Nigerian Customs Service, Suleiman Chiroma, who represented the Customs CG, said that there is a need for the customs to deploy sophisticated modern scanners to replace physical examination.
Nppm did not come at a better time than now. This is the right time, and its deployment is meant to achieve great beginnings for this country.
Soon after the sensitization meeting, the Nigerian Shippers Council, together with other members of the Implementation Committee on the Nppm in Lagos, swung into action by visiting some of the terminal operators in order to abridge them with the Nppm implementation.
There's need for the terminal to study. At the same time, this is a government policy which has taken effect December 10, 2020. What we expect from the terminal is, if there are areas of challenges that will make your operations not efficient, not transparent, challenges, you let this team know. We are out here to get it solved. We know that there are areas that concern you directly, which are the terminal operations. And if you look at terminal operations, sir, from the beginning of the thesis of terminal operations up to the end, there are things you're already doing. You've been doing them. We know the challenges. As a team, ready to collaborate and work with you seamlessly. We are not here to force things on you, to make things difficult for you. We are here to guide and to make sure things work the way it should be.
What we've just observed is all hands on deck. For actions and inactions to have consequences is what fuels efficiency in human endeavors. The commitments and pledges of all present at that meeting will catapult Nigeria's ports to the position of pace setter in the sub-region. With the takeoff of AFTA, all I can see are various currencies in Nigeria's purse. Can I hear an amen? It's now time to join Abike on Tidbits for a journey around the world of shipping.
It's the Tidbit segment of your favorite maritime program, The Shipper. My name is Abike Idowu. Nigerian Shippers Council brokered a truce between PIL Shipping Company and Unilever Nigeria Limited. The intervention was over seizure of Unilever's consignment for non-payment of a 4-year outstanding demurrage. A tripartite meeting was set up to resolve the issue, and after extensive queries and analysis of the complaints, it was concluded that the cargo will be released to Unilever while exploring fresh mediation process to resolve the differences. A 20% waiver of demurrage for the first 3 years was granted to Unilever. And here is our complaint register for the week. A total number of 10 complaints were received, 4 have been resolved, and 6 are ongoing investigations. The complaints include damage to container, abnormal port charges, container deposit refund, delay of container transfer, storage charges, and delayed rotation number. Shippers Council receives commendations from various stakeholders for our interventions in resolving different cases. Here is a letter of appreciation from Mr. Olagbenga of Nivea Limited, who thanked the Council for our efforts in the release of their export containers trapped in a garage. Next up, Global Maritime News. The Philippines has ended its temporary ban on international crew change for seafarers from vessels which had called at a list of 36 flagged nations. According to shipping agency GSC, new guidelines have been issued for the crew change from 1st of February with reference to resolutions number 96 and 97 of the Philippines Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging and Infectious Diseases. The new guideline essentially sees crew change to be reverting to the position prior to 30th December when the temporary ban was introduced due to the strain of the COVID-19 virus that had emerged. The Philippines has change hubs in Manila South Harbor, Port Kapimpin in Orion Bantan, Port of Sasa in Davao, and Port of Batangas. Disembarking seafarers will have to quarantine at facilities designated under the one-stop shop for seafarers until testing negative in COVID-19 test, which is taken on the 6th day after arrival. China United Lines, CU Lines, has entered into a shipbuilding contract with CSSC Hungpao Wencheng Shipbuilding for the construction of up to 4 1,900 TEU container ships. The vessels are the most updated types of box ships built by Hungpao Wencheng, which will be in 172 meters length, 27.5 meters width, and 14.6 meters depth. It is a first-time cooperation between CU Lines and CSSC on the construction of new vessels, and also a practical action of CU Lines to jointly provide better shipping service with CSSC for the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area. But wait, there's more. Taiwan's Wanhai Lines has splashed out a total of $706.9 million to order a dozen new 3,013 TEU container vessels in Japan and purchase 50,000 containers in China. In a stock exchange announcement, Wanhai said the 12 container vessels, each priced at $47.1 million, will be built at Nihon Shipyard, a joint venture between Imabari Shipbuilding and Japan Marine United. Wanhai also purchased 50,000 containers from China International Marine Containers at a cost of $141.7 million. Amidst a global container shortage, the average price of each container would be $2,835, and most of the new containers would be 40-foot equivalent units. The current shortage of containers was caused mainly by many containers piling up at ports or being in the wrong place due to congested ports and reduced personnel amid COVID-19 global lockdown. However, there have been forecasts that the container shortage may ease after the Chinese New Year from mid-February. And that's it on this week's Tidbits. Till we meet again.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
That's it on The Shipper today. This is where we drop anchor, as it were, and wish you all a great week ahead. Do join us again next week for another smooth sail.